Welcome back to the show. Our guest this week is the Mayor of Christchurch, Bob Parker. Now, the pledge card from 2007 and the key commitments. Let's whiz through these. Number one was all about enhanced traffic flow and enhanced public transport. Are we making progress?
Tremendous progress. We now have more roads of national significance than any other city in New Zealand. We have a government that has actually said that it thinks in a number of areas concerning traffic we've actually had a poor deal, and they are intent on helping us fix that up. We've managed to move forward the southern motorway and the extension so that we're actually being funded by the government, or cash flowed by the government, to do that as quickly as we can. We're on that now. The northern arterial to the city looks like it's being brought forward by about 5 to 6 years. Those are tremendous achievements, so we are making some real breakthroughs. That we've pushed on with our expressways for the buses, an integral part of a successful public transport system. So we've made huge strides in acceptance around central government funding and the need for it here on our major roads.
You did pledge to lay the plans for rail-based public transport. Where's that?
Well, we're working on that in the background a great deal at the moment. The complexity, of course, is that ECAN control public transport, and I have a fundamental disagreement with them. They see the next 40 years as being a bus future. I clearly see it as being something quite different. Buses will be a key part of it, but I believe we must move on the existing rail network, and I'm doing a lot of work in the background, and we've used CCHL to do some reports for us around the fast tram light rail concepts, and I hope to be able to move that forward in the coming months in the latter part of the term.
The second pledge, and we've referred to this as street safety, you'd have to be very pleased with the progress.
Tremendous results, particularly in the inner city where we've put patrols in the streets. We've responded to the police request for help around cameras, 25 new locations, actually more than 25 cameras. Many of those are multiple camera stations. We've had a 36.5% decrease in the last 6 months, these are police figures, in violent crime in our central city area. Now, that's too big just to be a fluke.
On a Saturday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a major step. I mean, the nights we were targeting were Thursday, Fridays and Saturdays in particular.
Yeah.
But overall city safety. And once again, you know, over the alcohol issue, we've stood up and made a big fuss about central government's role, because we're a child of statute, and we can only do and act within the rules that central government lay down for us. They give us the framework. They're now actively changing those rules to help us help our community resolve some of the issues.
At what point will you be satisfied that the city's safety perception problems are over, have been resolved?
When my community tells me that they feel safe. Up until then, real or perceived, there is a problem.
Your third pledge was heritage protection. What would you cite as concrete examples of that?
Well, we've increased the funding in heritage protection. So in our new 10-year plan, there's another $300 million popping into the budget through there, so we know, $300,000 in the budget there. We've actually saved some significant buildings, and I think we've begun, as we promised, to do a review around some of the special amenity areas in the city. We will never have enough money to satisfy everybody, so what we've done is to start a new review, it's underway now, on heritage buildings in the city, saying what buildings should we add to the lists that we have, and what buildings will we therefore defend right down to the line.
Right.
And on a council level, we've been actively involved in investing in a number of heritage projects in private hands, so people can access the funds that we have. Places like the Old Occidental Hotel, where we've worked really hard behind the scenes with developers to try to help them realise the value that they have in those historic properties. So we haven't gone as far as I want to go, but we're making good progress.
Council services was number 4, focusing on the basics.
Yep. And I think if you look at the 6 monthly surveys that we're doing, in the last survey we had, which was up to March of this year, 77% of all of our surveyed residents said that they were either very satisfied or satisfied with our council services. So that's at a really high level. I think the new waste removal system, the 3-bin system, has been a huge success despite people's concerns about the practicality of it. People are loving that system. It's making a genuine difference to the cleanliness in our city, and people's lives have altered in order to take advantage of that. So I think these are really positive, big steps.
Sure. I take it the bin system actually does dovetail into the 5th pledge card commitment, which was to the environment.
Yep. Well, the environment's a big issue for our city, and our future depends on the quality of the environment. And what I always say is that the quality of life is our unique selling point in this city. You know, there are lots of bigger, flasher, faster, whatever places. But what makes us unique is that ordinary folk can have a great quality of life. The environment and the protection of that is central to that. Record level of investment into our wastewater systems and stormwater systems all over the city. Our long-term plan has around about 130 million just targeted at issues around our main rivers in Christchurch. It's not as fast as some people would like, but it's what we can afford, and it's probably one of our biggest spends right now into those environmental areas. A new council building, we've set a target of a 6 Green Star rated building to set an example. It's going to be heated and powered by waste gas converted into electricity, saving ratepayers money. We've started our target sustainability projects across the city, working with businesses. And what we've been able to show many people in the city is that good environmental outcomes are good business outcomes. So we're still focusing on that. We won't be satisfied for a long time, but it's an important area of focus for this council.
Now, during the election campaign, you were very strong in committing to lowering the rates track so that annual increases would be kept under 5%. Mission accomplished. Should a similar approach be taken to council revenue streams like parking meters?
Well, parking meters, much maligned, poor old things, and parking wardens along with them. It should be a cost recovery program, so it shouldn't be about a profit centre. My view is that you use the parking to ensure that you can have adequate provision of parking. You need capital to invest in building and parking equipment and all the rest of it, and then you have to manage it. So, look, ultimately, we've got to get smarter around parking. We've got these extraordinary world-leading parking meters in our city. We're still not using them in the way that they could. For example, shops should be able to provide you with a machine where you can get free parking swiped onto a card. That as you move around the central city, so you can get help and they'll pay the bills for you. So we can get smarter and better about it.
You recently remarked that the $4 million parking surplus helps to keep the rates low. Now, that will strike many people as Peter and Paul economics, won't it?
Well, I don't think that I've been completely correctly quoted there, because what I'm saying is that that's the money that we're reinvesting into our parking management around the city. So it doesn't sort of just tip into the general rates fund. And I think what people took from the way I was quoted was that I'm saying it's a profit centre, let's put it into the sort of consolidated fund. We don't do that with it. We seek to cover our costs. We also seek to get enough return so that we continue to improve and provide improved parking opportunities. So as I said before, I don't believe it should be a profit centre. That's counterproductive.
All right. We'll get a break and plenty more to come with Mayor Bob Parker. Do stay with us.